Daniel Day-Lewis was born on 29 April 1957 in Kensington, London, the second child of poet Cecil Day-Lewis and his second wife, actress Jill Balcone. His older sister, Tamsin Day-Lewis, is a television chef and food critic. His father, who was born in the Irish town of Ballintubert, County Louth, was of Protestant Anglo-Irish descent, lived in England from age 2, and was appointed Poet Laureate in 1968. Day-Lewis' mother was Jewish. Her Jewish ancestors were immigrants to England in the late 19th century, from Latvia and Poland. Day-Lewis' maternal grandfather, Sir Michael Balcone, became the head of Ealing Studios, helping develop the new British film industry. The BAFTA for Outstanding Contribution to British Cinema is presented every year in honour of Balcone's memory. 2 years after Day-Lewis' birth, he moved with his family to Crooms Hill in Greenwich via Port Clarence, County Durham. He and his older sister did not see much of their older two half-brothers, who had been teenagers when Day-Lewis' father divorced their mother. Living in Greenwich, Day-Lewis had to deal with tough South London children. At this school, he was bullied for being both Jewish and posh. He mastered the local accent and mannerisms, and credits that as being his first convincing performance. Later in life, he has been known to speak of himself as a disorderly character in his younger years, often in trouble for shoplifting and other petty crimes. Daniel Day-Lewis is widely regarded as one of the greatest actors in history. He is known for his astounding performances and unwavering commitment to his roles, often dedicating months or even years to preparation. His diverse portrayals range from a greedy oil magnate in There Will Be Blood to a charming couturier in Phantom Thread. His accolades are numerous, having clinched 3 Academy Awards for Best Actor, a feat only matched by Jack Nicholson, Walter Brennan, and Meryl Streep, surpassing iconic figures like Marlon Brando and Anthony Hopkins. Day-Lewis has also garnered 4 BAFTA Awards, 2 Golden Globe Awards, and a Screen Actors Guild Award. Despite his remarkable success both within the industry and beyond, such as being knighted by Prince William in 2014, Day-Lewis shocked and disappointed his fans when he announced his retirement from acting in 2017 after completing Phantom Thread. Nevertheless, this decision was not entirely surprising. Day-Lewis was never one to take on just any role that came his way. He was meticulous and devoted to his craft, diving deep into the psyche and circumstances of his characters. For example, he spent months in a wheelchair, spent 8 weeks with cerebral palsy patients, and even asked the staff to feed him when he played a man with cerebral palsy in My Left Foot, which earned him an Oscar. He also lived in the wilderness for half a year to prepare for The Last of the Mohicans, learned to throw heavy knives for Gangs of New York, and built a kitchen table for The Ballad of Jack and Rose. During the filming of The Ballad of Jack and Rose, Day-Lewis isolated himself from everyone else so as not to break from his character. He also trained as a boxer for a year and a half and got tattoos on both hands for the boxer. He explained his process as follows. "Well, part of my job is to be drained. You absorb, and you nourish yourself. You feed yourself for whatever period of time, in this case, a year, and then your job is to more or less to drain yourself for whatever it is that you have to offer." Day-Lewis' method acting and perfectionism were unparalleled, but they also came at a high cost. He admitted that this was the only way he knew how to work. He either gave his all or nothing. From an external perspective, Day-Lewis appeared to vanish, but he clarified that he didn't truly disappear. Instead, he engaged in other activities. His work was often lonely and hard, and he suffered from depression after finishing a project. He had trouble letting go of a character he had embodied for so long. He kept speaking in his butcher accent for months after Gangs of New York, and he felt detached when he watched the movie. Some of his roles also took a toll on his physical health. He broke 2 ribs while playing Christy Brown in My Left Foot because he hunched over in a wheelchair for so long. He caught pneumonia while filming Gangs of New York because he refused to wear a warm coat in the cold weather. He lost 50 pounds while playing Jerry Conlon in The Name of the Father, because he ate only prison food. His dedication to his roles was so immense that he experienced an unconscious, spiritual turmoil when he released a character, and it could take years for him to find closure. He said he felt a deep sadness and a surreal sensation on the last day of filming, and he was not ready to accept that it was over. Day-Lewis did not enjoy being in the public eye, unlike many other actors. He valued his privacy and his family life in Ireland, where he sometimes went to a local pub for a quiet drink by himself. He did not care about fame or popularity. He was happy to stay out of sight. He said, "From the outside, I am, whether I like it or not, a public figure during certain periods, like now. Then I disappear, it seems." From an external perspective, Day-Lewis appeared to vanish, but he clarified that he didn't truly disappear. Instead, he engaged in other activities. He emphasized that re-engaging with life during that period was essential for him to carry out his work, stating that the 2 aspects were inseparable. His last film, Phantom Thread, which came out in 2017, had a profound impact on him. He became the character completely, mentally, physically, and spiritually. He learned everything about fashion design, cutting, draping, sewing, even making a Balenciaga dress by himself. He did not know it then, but this would be his final role to date. Since choosing to live a secluded and simple life away from the glamour and fame of Hollywood, Day-Lewis has been rarely seen in public. After this film, he felt a strong urge to stop acting for good. He had talked about quitting before, but this time it felt different. He could not explain why, but he felt an irresistible compulsion to retire. He announced his retirement through his spokesperson, who said that it was a private decision and that he and his representatives would not comment further on this matter. He said that he felt sorrowful about leaving the film industry, but he did not know what he would do next. He only knew that he would not be idle. He expressed a desire to explore the world in a different way, driven by passions for shoemaking and woodworking. In pursuit of his interests, he became an apprentice shoemaker under Stefano Bemer in Italy, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to everything he felt passionate about. For Day-Lewis, pursuing shoemaking as a side career might appear unusual, yet it played a crucial role in helping him maintain focus and balance. Since choosing to live a secluded and simple life away from the glamour and fame of Hollywood, Day-Lewis has been rarely seen in public. Moving to a small village in Ireland with his wife Rebecca Miller, Day-Lewis continued to nurture his passion for shoemaking, a hobby he had developed while preparing for his role in the Gangs of New York. Recently, he was spotted in New York City, looking very different from his former self. He was on crutches after injuring his leg, and he had long gray hair. He was wearing a casual outfit and a baseball cap and using his signature flip phone. One tweet read, "Daniel Day-Lewis looks unrecognizable in first public sighting in 4 years." The unrecognizable appearance reflected his preference for a low-key life away from the spotlight, which he seemed to thoroughly enjoy.
Chúng ta đã cùng nhau khám phá những câu chuyện thú vị và đáng chú ý về các ngôi sao hấp dẫn. Nếu bạn thích nội dung video của chúng tôi và muốn tiếp tục nhận thông tin mới nhất về các ngôi sao, đừng quên đăng ký, like và để lại comment ở phần bình luận bên dưới. Chúng tôi rất trân trọng mọi ý kiến đóng góp của các bạn để cải thiện chất lượng nội dung trong tương lai. Hãy chia sẻ ý kiến hoặc gợi ý, thắc mắc mà bạn có thể cho chúng tôi những thông tin chính xác hơn trong những video tiếp theo. Cảm ơn bạn đã dành thời gian theo dõi video này. Hãy nhấn like và để lại comment ngay bây giờ để chúng tôi biết rằng bạn đã thích nội dung này. Đừng quên subscribe kênh của chúng tôi để không bỏ lỡ bất kỳ thông tin hấp dẫn nào về các ngôi sao trong tương lai. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn trong những video tiếp theo. Chúc mọi người một ngày vui vẻ và thú vị.